Hey everybody, it's Willie Kid here, and I'm just going to take a few minutes and share some thoughts, remembrances about my friend, Myles Goodwyn. We lost Myles yesterday at noon, and I don't think the world was ever really ready. I don't know that Myles was ever ready. He was a courageous and powerful human being who never wanted to stop. He always had plans. He always wanted to be there for his friends, his family, and the fans until the very end. My introduction to Myles and to April Wine is like so many others across Canada. I've heard the phrase soundtrack of our youth used several times in tributes to him, and that's one of the best ways I could ever think to sum it up. Whether you were at a high school dance or on a date somewhere or just driving down the car listening to rock radio, one of the great songs that Myles put his signature to is a memory for somebody. Fast Train, All Over Town, Just Between You and Me, Tonight's a Wonderful Time to Fall in Love, Come Hear the Band, Here's Looking at You Kid, Kick Willie Road, Given It, Taken It. I could go on. Some of those are more known than others, but the point being is that you could name pretty much any April Wine song or some of Myles's later solo material, and it probably sparks a memory of something amazing that happened in somebody's life somewhere across Canada. In addition to Myles's songwriting, producing, musicianship, and ability to be a band leader of what is possibly Canada's biggest rock and roll band over a period of 5 decades, he was also just a genuine and humble, fabulous human being. I would hope that people are aware of the generosity that Myles shared. He was a very charitable man. He raised a lot of money for diabetes, raised a lot of money to get shoes for the homeless, and he would just help people with his time and resources wherever he could. He was very giving to fans, whether they just wanted an autograph or a picture, or to share in the memories that he helped give to them. The last time I saw Myles was in October of this year, and he surprised me at the local Long McQuaid where I work, and he surprised me with this, which is a very beautiful and touching gesture. This is an RKS guitar, and it will feature on many recordings for me moving forward. I'm very grateful to have this as part of my collection of instruments. Myles and I shared a bond of guitar collecting particularly, and many a phone call was spent talking about his history in the business and cool things that had happened to him. And invariably, the story would always come back to guitars in one way or another. He'd tell great stories of picking up great old Les Pauls from Steve's Music, or picking up a Goya in a pawn shop in Montreal. And it was really cool for me to know that I'm talking to somebody that was and is a hero to me about something that we're just both really passionate about. The subject of April Wine and the subject of his history would come up a lot too, but a lot of times, particularly later as I got to know Myles, he was very freely giving of his time, offering me advice in my own career as I try to develop as a guitarist and a songwriter and try to follow in his footsteps, making history of my own. Making history is a phrase that Myles liked to use a lot. And he'd say, you go into the studio, all right, let's make some history. So that is my plan. When I last met with Myles, and he gave me this beautiful guitar, we were able to sit for about an hour, and we talked about the music business, the state of the music business, and how it had changed. Talked about instruments and the fun behind it all, and we talked about future plans. Myles is somebody that always wanted to keep going. Even though he had tried to retire from April Wine several times, the pursuit of writing the next great song, producing the next great album, and sharing the next great story was never far from his mind. And he always would let me know, oh, hey, I want to write a new blues record, or oh, I want to rock, or I want to do a beautiful acoustic record. His last record, of course, Long Pants, beautiful solo album, well worth checking out if you can find it. But we were also talking about his future plans, like I say, and I guess it's in my job, as well as everybody else out there, to preserve his legacy and to carry on the future of rock and roll. Myles has set the standard for over 5 decades. We wouldn't be here without him, and people the world over love him very much, including me. Thank you, Myles, for all that you've given us, but thank you from my heart for thinking enough of me, who started out as a kid in my basement, dreaming of being a rock and roll musician, an April Wine fan, thinking enough of me to be my friend. I've written a few words for Myles. I wrote them just as he passed. I'd like to share them with you. Love is the friends we meet, hearts we cherish dear, people who bring out the best in us, whether far or whether near. The stories turn to memories as the clock strikes noon, and if it were a moment, it ended all too soon. Thankful for the kindness, once strangers, now dear friends, I never thought I'd be writing words about how it would end. But when we hear the band play on Friday night, singing words we grew up on, it simply feels right. And even with the spotlight, you shared your time with grace, every word spoken and sung and shared with the utmost care and taste. Now that it's over, words are hard to find. It's been a real roller. The silence, so unkind. Just between you and me, I'll miss you, my friend. Rest in peace, Myles Goodwyn. Thank you. Love you.